What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again. All right, let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another Blu-ray DVD update video. And y'all already know how I do this, man. Or if you're new, then I mean, you already know how this goes just from the title alone. It's my collection. I like to show y'all updates every month. So enough talking, man. Let's get into it. The first movie that I got this month is Harold and Kumar. Basically, the first two Harold and Kumar movies together. I already got the third movie last year, so when I saw that this was on sale, I had to get it so I could complete my Harold and Kumar collection. Like I said, it comes with the first two movies. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle and Escape Guantanamo Bay. These are the discs right here. Very basic discs. Y'all know how I am about that. I like to see like covers on the disc, but I mean, hey, it's an R-rated comedy. I guess it's more about what's on the disc than, you know, what's on it. But for me, I watched both these pretty recently. Actually, I did like a whole series watch through in one night. That was hard. Watching three movies back to back to back like that is hard. But yeah, the Harold and Kumar series still holds up. If you've never seen it, I definitely recommend it. They're really good stoner comedies. Never watched them while I was high though, but maybe I gotta try that at some point. But yeah, Harold and Kumar double movie collection. Next up, we got Enchanted. If you guys are part of my age range, then you know what this movie is. It's probably like a modern Disney classic for, like I said, kids of my generation growing up. And if you've never seen it, basically it's a parody of the early Disney princess movies. And when I say parody, I don't mean like in the vein of Scary Movie or Disaster Movie or anything like that, where it's like craziness. Like this movie is somewhat rooted in reality, and I'm only saying somewhat rooted in reality because we got animated characters coming to the real world. So besides that part, like the movie does pretty much, you know, stay rooted in reality. And that's kind of why I say it's a parody, just because these animated characters from the Disney princess world is coming to the real life world, and they got to adjust to like how things really happen in real life. So that's where the comedy of this movie comes in. But even if you don't just look at the comedy, you know, it's not a bad romance movie, and it got some pretty good songs in there. And actually, this was the first movie growing up where I actually like saw Amy Adams in there, and Amy Adams is like one of my favorite actresses. So yeah, this movie definitely put me on to her. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out, but don't watch the sequel on Disney Plus. That movie was a very big disappointment. Next, we have Ma featuring Octavia Spencer. And I feel like a lot of people know this movie. For some reason, this isn't like a movie that I hear talked about a lot. Like when we talk about like horror movies and stuff like that. But like a lot of people that I personally know love this movie a lot. Yeah, so this is the Blu-rays, you know, basic Blu-rays, like always. You know, I do like the different color coordinations though. Like the blue is obviously the Blu-ray one, the red is obviously the DVD. Like I do like that, but yeah. As far as the movie itself, I like this movie a lot. And it's so funny. I told my mom that she kind of looks like Octavia Spencer to me, partly because of this movie and partly because of how Octavia Spencer looked in Fruitvale Station. So how she looked in this movie and in Fruitvale Station, I kind of said, I kind of told my mom one time that she does kind of look like Octavia Spencer. I don't think she liked that I said that, but I mean, I just see it. I see it. Next, we have The Visit, M. Night Shyamalan's movie that kind of got him back in people's good graces years ago. Actually, this movie came out, I think, in 2015 or 2016. It came out when I was in high school. And like I said, it got M. Night Shyamalan back on a lot of people's radars just because, like, I forget what movie it was. I think it might have been The Happening or something like that. There was some movie he came out with that a lot of people hated, and ever since then, like they kind of wrote him off as a bad director because after that, it was the movie with Mark Wahlberg in it. Um, After that Mark Wahlberg movie, then he came out with The Last Airbender. Then he came out with, I think, the the Jaden Smith movie was called After Earth or something like that. He basically went on a run of making movies that people didn't like. So a lot of people was wondering, like, does he still got it? And this was the movie that proved that, obviously he still got it. So yeah, The Visit. And you know what? The Visit was actually my first. Actually, no, this isn't my first. My first movie that I seen from him with The Last Airbender. But when I watched this, I didn't know he was the one that directed Last Airbender. So I went in with no bias. I just wanted to see a good movie. And luckily, I like this movie. I like it a lot. It's probably in my top three for M. Night Shyamalan movies, but I gotta sit down and actually watch majority of his movies someday because I've ever since this movie, I've seen every release since then. So I gotta see, the movies before this one. So obviously I didn't see Sixth Sense. I didn't see Signs. I didn't see any of those movies. So yeah. Next we got Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And if you guys know Groove.com is a website where obviously they sell Blu-rays and DVDs, but they tend to sell them for pretty cheap and they have deals every weekend. I got The Visit, Ma, and um Willy Wonka. I got all three of those through Groove.com. They were having like a or buy three for the price of two deal or something like that. It was like some deal, where you get multiple movies together. So I said, let me get this one just because this movie is a classic to me. I watched this movie growing up. I'm pretty sure a lot of people watched this movie growing up. Who doesn't love the Oompa Loompa songs and how creepy Willy Wonka was? Like, this was basically my Willy Wonka movie. Another bank another basic blank disc. This was my Willy Wonka movie growing up. Like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that came out when I was a kid. So yeah, technically that is my movie growing up. But like this, I like this version way better. I know they say the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory version. I know they say that one is like more faithful to the original book, but I ain't never read that original book. So I don't got no care for that. But this movie, my childhood, I love it. I don't have to recommend it because I know everybody and their mom pretty much seen this movie. Next, Mom, you and Dad do not go through the old DVD collection no more. So the other day when I went to my parents' house, they had this crate full of like DVDs from back in the day. Yo, I've said this before on my channel. My parents basically started my love for like physical media collecting and stuff like that. Like I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to take me and my brother to go to Blockbuster and like rent movies and video games and stuff like that. Not only that, but like and I'm not gonna lie, my family used to sail the seven seas a lot when I was younger. But there were movies that my parents would buy, and we actually had like a whole big entertainment setup. I don't know what happened to most of those DVDs, but the ones that they kept in a crate in the basement. So I was like, you know what, let me go through that crate. Let me see what movies that I like, and let me see which ones I'm interested in. So the next few DVDs are, well, I got three here that I know that I'm going to keep, but the rest of these are movies that I'm actually going to watch for the first time and see if I'm interested in keeping them. So first, let's see the ones that I am going to keep. The first one is Last Holiday, starring Queen Latifah and LL Cool J. Basically, if you've never seen this movie, Queen Latifah, she's told that she has like a disease that's basically gonna kill her. Like I said it so blatant, but basically they tell her that she don't have that much time to live, so she decides to go on a last holiday and basically live life to the fullest, do any and everything that her heart desires. And yeah, basically, I know this sounds dramatic, but it is a comedy movie. It's a very, heartwarming comedic movie. Only thing I didn't like was the ending. They did a Where Everyone Is Now type ending, and the way they did it was so corny. I actually seen this movie like a year and a half ago with one of my friends, and like when we watched it, the ending was so perfect until that Where They Are Now scene, and I was like, oh god, that actually docked a couple of points for me. Like it was done so cornily, and the cornily isn't even a word, but it was done so corny that like I was like, yeah, I'm docking points. I'm docking points. Like this movie was a 9. That Where They Now scene makes it an 8. Like I'm being dead serious. Like that scene was so corny. I had to dock points. But yeah, Last Holiday, very feel good comedy movie. It's on Paramount Plus, so if you got that, check it out. Next, we have Barbershop, one of Ice Cube's classic movies. If you're black, I'm pretty sure you already know what this movie is. Like I said, it's a classic, one of the classic black movies. Basically, Ice Cube, actually, basically Friday at a barbershop. Friday at a barbershop. That's pretty much what this movie is. Like, it's if you've seen Friday, it's basically that same movie just at a barbershop, pretty much. But even though I'm saying it like that, it is a really good movie, and I still have to get Barbershop 2 and 3. Like I said, my parents had way more DVDs. They used to have Barbershop 2 on DVD. I don't know what happened to it, but at least I can save some money, and I got the first one on DVD now. Oh, I didn't even show Last Holiday's uh disc. Y'all remember when the DVDs actually used to have these little like clip things? But yeah, so this was the disc for Last Holiday. And then Barbershop, this is the disc right here. And I remember Barbershop 2 having a very similar disc to, like that. So yeah, if you've never seen Barbershop, go check that out. And then the last one that I know for sure that I'm going to keep is Deliver Us from Eva. I do not like this picture right here. I don't like it because it makes the movie look way different than it's actually supposed to be. Basically, the movie is about these guys and their wives. Eva is basically like a crazy, controlling older sister and whatever. So because they can't get time with their wives, they hire LL Cool J. And that's why I don't like this back picture, because this movie makes it look like he's a player when really like those are four sisters, and I don't even think he interacts with the other sisters until like halfway through the movie. So like it doesn't, why they go with this picture making him look like he's macking all four sisters is crazy to me. But yeah, very funny movie, actually a very underrated romance comedy. I really did not know about this movie until I got older. Like, growing up, all I would hear is, the typical black love movies like Love and Basketball, Love Jones, and stuff like that. But I really never heard anybody talk about this. And it wasn't until, I was bored one day and I was like, let me just watch a movie. I saw this and, I was like, let me check it out. And I actually wound up enjoying it more than I was expecting to. That's what the disc looks like. Now, we're going to go through all the DVDs that I took from my parents' house, and I don't really know anything about them. I read the back of the cases. I looked at the front, and I was like, okay, whichever ones look the most interesting, those are the ones that I'm going to take. So I'm not going to sit here and explain plots. I really don't know what the plots are, but that's kind of the fun of it. Like, as time goes on, I could do update videos telling y'all like how I feel about these movies. But let's get into it. First movie is Rebound, starring Martin Lawrence. I don't know much about this movie, but I do know that it has to do with him starting a basketball team, something like that. Um, oh yeah, I forgot. So that's how the disc look. I had it flipped over because one side is the widescreen version. I was going through these movies and testing out whether they still work or not. But damn, y'all remember when like DVDs actually had like other advertisements for other movies in it? Damn, that's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I always knew about this movie, I just never watched it. So I'm gonna check that out, see if it earns its spot in my collection. Next is The Kings of Comedy. Basically, this movie is taking us behind the scenes of the Kings of Comedy tour. I do remember like seeing my dad watch this movie a lot, but I never actually sat down and watched it with him. It's not really like a movie. Like I said, it's just, tour footage and they just compiled it into a movie. So yeah, I wanted to check this out just because Cedric the Entertainer is one of my favorite comedians, and Bernie Mac is my favorite comedian. Like I love his stand up, I love his show. I just love Bernie Mac in general. So like anything Bernie Mac, I'm going to check it out. Case in point, Mr. 3000. I don't know what the hell this movie is about, but I saw Bernie Mac, so I was like, let me check it out. I know my parents used to have his other movie, Guess Who, and I don't know where that DVD is. I was looking, that was the one I was looking for the most because I love Guess Who. I've always loved it, even when I was really young. And that was the movie that really put me on to Bernie Mac for real. So I was really looking for it. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it, so I'm gonna have to buy it. But yeah, eventually I do gotta get Guess Who. Next is Ju-on. Ju-on. I don't know how to pronounce it, so sorry if I messed up the pronunciation. But yeah, like I don't know what this is about, but that cover looks freaky as hell. So I was like, okay, let me get that. Surprisingly, I saw so many horror movies in my parents' old collection. I didn't know they liked horror movies this much. Maybe this is why I love horror movies so much. But yeah, I don't remember my parents liking horror movies that much, so that's why it's surprising to me. Next is Dark Water. I don't know what this is about either, but pretty interesting. It looked interesting. Next, we got Out of Time by Denzel Washington. I saw Denzel Washington in an action movie, so I just figured definitely let me check this one out. Um, so yeah, the disc looks like, oh, another picture of the movie. The scenes. That's the one thing I do miss from DVDs, how they would show like the scenes and stuff like that. I miss that. I wish, Blu-rays would do that still to this day. The Exorcist of Emily Rose. This is one that I knew about. This is one that I knew about. I never watched it, of course. I remember when I was younger, I tried to watch it, but my parents were telling me no, leave the room. So this is one that I knew about, and it is one that I hear a lot of horror fans talk about. So that's why I said I'm gonna take this one, and I'm gonna see if it, lives up to how scary people said it was. Yo, look at this. This is how you know it's a throwback. Best Buy stopped doing physical media. This is how you know this is a throwback. Damn. Damn, yeah, that takes me back, man. Next is Blade Trinity. Um, Now my parents did have the other Blade movies in the collection, but here's the thing. They had the other Blade movies in the collection, but when I went to open the case, the discs weren't there. One movie, I think it was the first Blade movie, empty case. Second Blade movie, which is it the third one? Yeah, I think the third one. The second Blade movie had the bonus disc, but it didn't have the original movie disc. So I'm like, what the heck? So this is the only Blade movie I was able to get that actually had everything together, like the movie and the bonus disc. And also, I think this is the Blade. I didn't see Blade one. Oh, it actually gives you a comic? Okay, I didn't open this one. It actually gives you a comic. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, no, that's cool. That's cool. It gives you a whole Blade comic. Ah, and it's specifically made for the DVD. That is crazy. That is crazy. Okay, yeah, I love this. I love this. This is stuff that you don't get in Blu-rays nowadays. But I think I've seen the first Blade movie, but I've never seen the second or the third one, so I'm gonna be checking this one out. Next. Oh. Oh, okay. I forgot I put extra DVDs in there. I saw other DVDs from when I was growing up at the house and I just threw them in here. But yeah, Eddie Griffin, Dysfunctional Family. This is basically like Kings of Comedy, like a stand-up tour movie or something like that. My dad used to watch this one a lot, but just like Kings of Comedy, I never sat down and watched it with him. So, I'm using this as the opportunity to check it out. Next, we have The Skeleton Key. Didn't know what this one was about, but I just said it looks interesting. And Kay Hudson's in it. Kay Hudson is a name that I'm familiar with. So I said I'll check it out. Damn. Y'all ever seen that show, Medium? Y'all ever seen that out? Maybe I might have to check that out. You guys might be very surprised, but I'd never seen the full movie of Hitch. I have never seen the full movie. So I've always seen the beginning of it because my friends always try to put me on, but then after a certain point, like for some reason, we would just stop watching. But yeah, I'd never seen the full movie of Hitch. So when I saw this DVD, I was like, this is actually my chance to actually like watch the whole thing. Damn. Mom, Dad, because my mom be watching my videos. Mom, you ain't never opened this DVD? Why am I surprised? There's actually some DVDs in here that they didn't open before, so I shouldn't be surprised. Um, so yeah, there goes the Hitch DVD. I'm gonna check that one out, especially since this seems to be, a classic romance comedy. Definitely gotta check that one out. And then the last DVD we got here, Fear.com. Now, I don't know nothing about Fear.com. Only reason I grabbed it is because I follow the Dead Meat podcast and I remember them talking about this movie. They referenced this movie in a video on their podcast, and I never seen it, but because they referenced it and they're, people that I trust when it comes to horror movies, I said, you know what, let me check this out. This one might be pretty cool. And that poster does look kind of creepy. It looks interesting. I'm definitely gonna check it out, see what it's about. Okay, come on, work with me. So I'm definitely gonna check it out. So yeah, that's the collection for this month. If you guys have seen any of the movies that I didn't see, leave me your opinions down below. The movies that I do know, like I said, check those out. Check them out. Give them a chance. And yeah, that's about it. Like I said, man, I want to do more like real life, like not just the podcast, but I want to do like other real life type content, like vlogs and stuff like that. So if there's anything you guys want to see, maybe even a Q&A, if you guys want to get to know more about me, just let me know. Let me know what y'all want to see. Thank you to all the new subs. Um, I don't know if she's watching the video, but recently one of my favorite TikTokers, Andrea Tomasi, told me that she subbed to my channel. So Andrea, if you are watching, thank you. I really, I was speechless. I'm still speechless now that you even subbed. So yeah, definitely check out her content. I didn't mean to like throw in a shout out, but like definitely check out her content. One of my favorite content creators. Yeah. And with all that being said, Tevin Jameer signing out. Catch you on the next one. Peace.